Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of The Points of Articulation. My name's Dave and if you're new to the channel, welcome. So this video has been a long time coming. I'm finally going to take a look at the Star Wars Armada core set. Now a couple minor things before I begin. I will not be going into an in-depth look on all the vessels in this set. I did review each vessel on their own, so I'll put links in the description below to them. And basically, I'm making this video to just show off what comes in the core set, what it has to offer, and if you choose to play Armada, why you should pick one up. So, let's see what comes in the core set. Alright, and this is everything in the Armada core set, and I know I left some of the fighters out, but look at all this stuff! So let me break this down. The core set is everything you need to rock and roll and play with two people. You get an Imperial faction, the Victory Star Destroyer, and some TIE fighters, and also the Rebellion faction with the CR-90, Nebulon B frigate, and a couple squads of X-Wings. Now just like the expansions I reviewed before this, each ship comes with ship cards, squadron cards, upgrade cards, and the tokens, such as the command tokens, defense tokens, and so on. So what comes in the core set that doesn't come with the expansions? Well, starting off over here, we have our maneuver tool, we have our range finder right there, or I should say range ruler, I guess is the correct pronunciation. Then we have some obstacles over there that we'll look at. We have our reference and objective cards, which are very important. Some extra tokens. Right over here, we have our area markers, and this is the initiative token. Basically, it says who goes first and whatnot. And then we get a bunch of upgrade cards that are special just for this set, like Grand Moff Tarkin, and also the flagship ID tokens and so on. And my favorite part of this expansion are the two booklets that explain how to play. It's very clear, color pages, and then when you buy the expansions, usually they're add-on materials that could go with this, so that's pretty awesome. Now along with those rulebooks, you also get dice, and I strongly recommend you buy some more. I got 2 more expansion dice packs right there, because if you get bigger ships like the ISD, you're not going to have enough dice. That's a problem with this game, so you got to stock up on dice. So enough of me yapping, let's start looking at what this box set comes with. Alright, now for the biggest dial token roll call ever. 6 command dials, 3 speed dials, 13 defense tokens, 12 command tokens, 7 objective tokens, 10 victory tokens, 20 squadron ID tokens, whoa, and 9 ship ID tokens. So that's all the tokens we're used to, so now let's take a look at the new ones. Okay, for the new tokens, we have the Initiative token, which lets the players know who goes first. In the rulebook, it says the Rebellion gets to go first, so that's pretty cool. And next, we have the 4 setup area markers. Now, to play Armada in the original rulebook, you need a 3 feet by 3 feet square. In the new rules, it's 3 feet by 6 feet, so these mark your area. Then we have 3 asteroid belts. Now, these are part of the 6 obstacles. And you place these all around the field, and if the enemy goes on it, or yourself, usually you take damage, or you cannot fire through them, so that's pretty cool too. If you're pretty good, you could use these to your advantage. Then, also part of the 6, we have 2 debris fields with pieces of Star Destroyers and Corvettes. Pretty awesome. And then the last obstacle we have is the space station, which is really nice looking. I wish we had a model of that. Pretty cool. And then we have 6 round tokens. Now in the game of Armada, you have 6 rounds to complete your objective or to cause the most damage. So after the 6th one, the game is basically over, depending on how you play. And then finally, you have 6 flagship ID tokens. Now in the game of Armada, you pick a vessel, and that becomes your hero ship, your flagship if you will. So that does it for all the tokens in this set. So now, let's take a look at the range ruler and maneuver tool. And next we have this cool maneuver dial, and you may be asking yourself, Dave, what is a strange thing that moves and clicks? This is what you need to move your Armada. And I do have to buy another one, but this one's pretty cool. Now how does it work? So, say you want to move your CR-90. You just place it in like so, and then depending on what your speed is at, let's just say for simplicity, you're at speed 1. That's 2 clicks on 1. So here we have 1. So let's say we want to take our ship and make a left. So 1, 2, take your ship, and then move your maneuver tool, and there you go. Alright, so here we have the range ruler, and it's actually really cool Now this is used to distinguish how much firepower or what color dice you would use. So you have close range, all three, medium, and then long range. So let's see how that works real quick. Okay, so using our range ruler, you want to match these two yellow dots here. And as you can see, the Corellian Corvette has the Victory Star Destroyer in medium range, so you could attack the forward arc. And that's basically how this works. Now for the back of the range ruler, we're dealing with squadrons. So let's get our CR90 back in here. Now first of all, you may be wondering what are all these numbers. These are basically for the speed of the craft. For example, if you have a fighter, right here we have our X-Wing and it has a speed of 2. It can go 2, which is pretty sick. But also, these numbers are used for, I would say, putting a squadron out. So let's just say the CR90 wants to put a squadron out at distance 1. There we go. And that's how easy that is. Now the cool thing about squadrons is they cannot fire their weapons until they are in range 1. And they have all 3 dice at their availability depending on what the craft have. So this is a very useful tool. It kind of stinks they only give you 1. So I would recommend buying some extras. Alright, and I forgot to mention, the range ruler here, it's made out of that cardboard. It's very flimsy. And I'm always afraid it's going to bend or warp. However, you can go on eBay or Amazon and get a third-party one, which is very accurate. Same exact size and everything. I got a green neon one. And you can see, close, medium, long, and then it has the symbols, red and blue. So there are tons of different alternatives to the cardboard that it comes with. They even make little tokens, too. So that does it for all the tokens and dials and rulers and all that stuff. I know it's a lot of stuff to take in, but we gotta get through it. So now let's take a look at the cards that come in this set. We'll take a quick look at the ships, and then a very, very quick look at the rulebook, and then we'll be done. So let's get started. Alright, when it comes to the cards, like always, I'll read the name, and then if you'd like to pause the video and read the paragraph, by all means, go right ahead. So first up, we have Grand Moff Tarkin, Wilf Yularin, and I always mispronounce his last name, but he's a cool character. He was actually in Rebels and Clone Wars. General Dodonna, Leia Organa, Defense Liaison, Weapons Liaison, Gunnery Team, Nav Team, Engineering Team, Electronic Countermeasures, Expanded Hangar Bay, Assault Concussion Missiles, Overload Pulse, H9 Turbo Lasers, Enhanced Armament, Dodonna's Pride, Redemption, and finally, the Dominator. So those were the upgrade cards, and now we're taking a look at the ship cards. Now, in my previous reviews, I already looked at these, so just for a little walk down memory lane, let's take a quick glance. We have the CR90 Corvette A, the CR90 Corvette B, the Nebulon B Escort Frigate, the Nebulon B Support Refit, the Victory 1 Class Star Destroyer, and finally, the Victory 2 Class Star Destroyer. So that does it for the ship cards. So now let's take a quick look at the squadron cards. Alright, now I know on my channel I haven't dove into the squadrons yet. I will be tackling them very soon to get them out of the way. So up first we have the X-Wing Squadron, 3 speed, 5 hull, 4 anti-squadron die, and 1 ship die. I guess we could say it's an attack die. But like always, if you would like to pause the video and read it, go right ahead. Up next, for the Hero X-Wing if you will, we have Luke Skywalker, TIE Fighter Squadron, and finally the Hull Runner, which is the Hero TIE Fighter Squadron. So that does it for all the ship cards. So now let's take a very brief look at the objectives, damage deck, and reference cards. Now I'm not going to spend too much time on these, but this is the reason we play the game. When you start a game of Armada, you pick one of these cards we're going to look at, and that's the reason why the Imperials and Rebels are fighting. These are your scenarios, if you will. So up first we have Advanced Gunnery, Most Wanted, Precision Strike, Open and Salvo, Fire Lanes, Contested Outpost, Fleet Ambush, Hyperspace Assault, Intel Sweep, Minefields, Superior Positions, and finally Dangerous Territory. So up next, the damage deck. And here we have 52 damage cards. Now I'm not going to go through all of them, but basically what these cards are is when your ship gets damaged, you could get one of these, and usually they go on your ship like that, but if you flip them over, you get added damage or disabilities, if you will. Like this one says, you cannot ready your defense tokens, which could be a problem. You cannot attack at long range, and so on and so forth. So it keeps the game fresh like that, and I love this mechanic. And finally, one of my favorite cards in the set, the references. These are basically quick little rulebooks, if you want to put it that way, that explain what things do. Here we have commands, and you get 2 of them. And then you also get one that explains defense tokens. Now, I wish they would have made more of these, just so you could have like a little deck of all the rules, but it is what it is. Now, speaking of rules, let's take a quick glance at the rule books. Okay, first up, we have the Learn to Play book, and this is my favorite of the two. It tells you what comes in the core set, how much of everything, how to assemble your models and rulers, and then how to play. So it tells you how to set up your board. You can see the squadrons with the ships, where all the dials go. And I love this. Very simple, very nice and clean cut to understand. And this tells you all about damage, how that works. And I love this section where it tells you to stop. Basically, at this point, after reading up to this page, you know everything you need to know to start playing Armada. Now, everything onwards is more advanced stuff. And here it teaches you about your objectives with the scenarios we looked at before, ID tokens, critical effects. So it's pretty awesome. Again, it shows you how to set up the game. Pretty nice. And then finally, before we take a look at the ships, here we have the rules reference, and I love this. This tells you how everything works. And I love it for that. Very simple. It's like a dictionary almost. And if you go onto the Fantasy Flight Games website, you can download this and the other book as a PDF. And I actually have them on my computer for quick references and stuff like that. But a very nice book. Again, very black and white. And easy to understand. Here we have the credits, index, and all that. And I gotta say, nice artwork on all this stuff. So that does it for all the material. So now let's take a very quick look at the vessels. Alright, for the ships, like I mentioned before, all these ships I reviewed by themselves. I'll put the link in the description below, so if you want to check them out. Now, the Nebulon B and this bad boy were one of my first reviews, so the quality may not be up to my standards anymore, but, they're not too bad. So here we have the CR90, very detailed. Now, for the length of this bad boy, I believe it's 2¼ inches long, so it may be a little small, but it's packed full of great details. You can see all the weapons, the dish, the engines are done beautifully, and the paint is amazing on these, especially with the black wash. Magnificent stuff. Looking at the bottom, beautiful. And then we have our stand port right there. And here we have the front of the ship with our bridge. It's nice. So let's move on to the Nebulon B. And here we have the Nebulon B frigate, 3½ inches of pure beautiful model. We have our medical bay, stand connector port, weapons, bridge, antenna. Beautiful sections here. I love this ship. Ever since I saw The Empire Strikes Back, we have beautiful engines with blue. The paint is amazing. The details are great. And a nice black wash brings all these details to life. Beautiful ship. I actually am a huge fan of this. Oh boy, there's church bells in the background. So anyway, here we have the Victory Class Star Destroyer. One of my favorites, probably up on my top 5. I just reviewed this bad boy on my channel and I was blown away. Now this is the one that comes with the core set, and there's not much difference at all. We can see beautifully painted. Excellent details, our bridge, observation, antenna, shield generators, target and sensor. Beautiful engines. Stand connector port on the bottom. Landing bays. Tons of paneling. Just a fantastic addition to the set. Now with the core set, you also get fighter squadrons. And here we have ties. Nicely detailed for the size. Now I know a lot of people are customizing these with paint and decals, and they look amazing. But nicely done. And finally we have the X-Wing Starfighters. Pretty good. Now the only problem with squadrons are they're not painted. But all the details are there. The astromech, cockpit, blaster cannons, S-foils and engines. Pretty nice. I like these a lot. And that does it for all the ships. And that's everything I have to say today about the Star Wars Armada core set. Now, I apologize if I made this video way too longer than it should have been. I will wrap this up quickly, well, as quick as possible. What this whole video is boiling down to is the set worth it? And that is a great question. If you're never going to play the game, don't bother buying it. If you just want the models, go to Barnes & Noble or eBay and just buy the models and the expansion sets. But if you do plan on playing, this is great. As I said multiple times, this has everything you need to rock and roll right out of the box. And for that, the price is well worth it. So what exactly do you get? What did we look at? We looked at 3 beautiful models, 6 TIE Fighter squadrons, 4 X-Wing squadrons, tons of tokens, dials, cards, and rulers. And the best part of this set, for me anyway, is the rules. For me, growing up, I had a hard time reading. I still do. It's just a mental thing I got. But the rule book is very nice, very organized, and it explains and breaks everything down perfectly. And not only do you get one book, but you also get a rules reference, which breaks stuff down even more. And if you just take a little bit of your time, you will understand how to play this game, and you could be a master. Now, besides those 2 books, you also get a couple cards that explain it even more. And speaking of cards, this set is also very good because it comes with some upgrade cards you don't get with the expansions, such as Grand Moff Tarkin. And that's basically everything that's positive about this. It's a great set. Now, with cons, the first one is actually a pro too, which is you need it to play. It ain't like you could go to the store and just buy a Nebulon B frigate and a CR90 expansion and then go to the comic shop and play your friends. It doesn't work like that because you don't have all the cards you need. And that could be a problem, especially if you don't have a lot of money, because the core set is a little pricey and we'll get to that soon. But if you go half-seas with a friend, yeah, sure, that could probably work. But I would recommend, if you're a hardcore, save up your money and just buy it for yourself because it is a great set. Now, for the other con, price. I've seen these for $50, $70, $75, even up to $100-something at times. I got mine for $75 off Amazon about a year and a half ago, and I haven't even seen these at the stores recently. Now, recently a lot of Armada stuff is drying up, especially in my area, but Fantasy Flight Games says something big is coming. And my fingers are crossed for Clone Wars ships. I know a lot of people want sequel trilogy, but I don't know, I'm not feeling it. I think the Clone Wars, you have more playability, more ships, and with more ships, people will buy it, and that's more money for the company, so it's a win-win. Unless Disney's pulling their arm to do sequel crap, but that's a conversation for another day. So, basically, that's everything I have to say about this ship. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you'd like to see new reviews every Thursday, click subscribe. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.